In life, we all ask the questions, why me? Why now? And why did this happen to me? But if we are honest with ourselves, as we keep living, we realize it had to happen. Why? Fate, purpose, destiny. In the long-anticipated release from G4 Life Publishing Company, author Terrence Williams takes us on a journey of some of life's lessons he has learned. On this journey, we find lessons which include makeover, it wasn't all her fault, legacy, and moving forward backwards. He encourages the reader to embrace the reality we all must face at some point in life, that whether you believe it or not, it had to happen.
Welcome to Grace Talks, produced by Grace Media Productions and hosted by T-Dub Entertainment. Grace Talks is a podcast that informs and inspires to help you grow gracefully. Here you can enjoy great conversations, experience special guests, and encounter grace moments. Tune in now for an all-new episode of Grace Talks.
Chapter 8 Failure. Never let success get to your head. Never let failure get to your heart. Anonymous. Now, this is one of those chapters that will catch you off guard or will be a continued debate for ages. I'm sure we all have heard the mantra, the adage, the cliche. Failure is not an option. Here's a question for you. If failure is not an option, why does it happen? Some say failure is not something that should happen if you put in the work. Then why was the word created? So many business people experience multiple levels of failure. In fact, today, people remark or build on the idea of famous people failing multiple times before succeeding. So, if that is the case, that we give valiant effort and then fail, why is it that everyone does not teach the lesson that failure is a part of success? Colonel Sanders, creator of Kentucky Fried Chicken, experienced failure through rejection. Reports state that he was turned down 1,009 times in trying to market his chicken recipe. Today, there is at least one KFC in almost every city. Oprah Winfrey came from poverty, finally made it to a TV program, and was fired because she was told she didn't look the part for TV. And now, she owns her own TV network. Our change in perspective concerning failure is essential to the destiny and purpose that lies within us. When our perspective changes, we recognize failure not as a bad thing, but a teaching moment. Author James Clear wrote that failure provides lessons through experience, provides knowledge, acknowledges levels of resilience, reveals growth, and finally shows value. If we can grab hold to the lessons, half the battle is already over. In fact, it's a part of the process. So it's not that you should focus on failure, it's just that you should not ignore the lesson behind failure. After experiencing a failure, you have to begin by understanding it's okay to fail. As I stated earlier, there are lots of examples of people who failed and recovered from failure. If one does not die in a failure, then that means you still have an opportunity to experience. You have the opportunity to experience the joy of failure. This happens in realizing it wasn't fatal. It may have been difficult, but you do get another chance to try it all over again. Not only that, but it's important to ignore the haters. You know, the people who tell you to give up when you fail in a certain area. It's the ones who come out and say, "I knew that wasn't going to work." You have to get to the place where you hear it, but you don't allow it to deter you. You don't allow it to hinder your process. In fact, let it propel you to do better. I explained earlier about the need of perspective change. How does that work? It's called recovery. Recovery from failure is that time that is spent in refocusing, re-evaluating, and retrying. In this time of recovery, you have to deal with the how, what, and why mistakes. I remember establishing my company in 2009. There were a few jobs and opportunities that happened, but then it went belly up. I needed time to understand what went wrong. In James Clear's 3 Stages of Failure, he explains that it can be a combination of the how mistakes, the what mistakes, and the why mistakes. In anything we do, we must answer these 3 questions. The how mistakes deal with the failure of tactics. How did you attempt to meet the need of your business? Secondly, there is the failure of strategy. What did you do, or what process or set of steps did you come up with that didn't work, that caused failure? Finally, every one of us has to know why we do what we do. If we can't provide a sustainable why in our life, failure is bound to happen over and over. I had to gain this mindset. No, it did not happen overnight, and it did not happen the first, second, or third time of failure. However, eventually it did get to the point that at a place of failure, that I was able to ask myself when something didn't work, that I was able to see the lesson, the joy, and the opportunity that comes with the recovery from failure. Be encouraged today that as long as you are alive, failure is possible, but it's not the end of your journey. It's simply a redirection.
If you have a question or would like us to discuss a specific topic, Grace Talks wants to hear from you. You can email us at gracetalks@graceforlife.com. That's grace_talks@grace-4-life.com.